Hi guys, Dan here and welcome back to another podcast and another video. And today we have a new guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is HIGAMER, CEO of Couple Crew Studios.
Hi guys, my name is Dan and I will be the interviewer for today. I'm also known as the Brazilian. And to start things off, first of all, thanks for coming, Hi Gamer. It's very cool to have you here. And
Well,
tell
thanks
me,
very much.
tell me, where the interest to start or to open your YouTube channel came from? Any quick point outs you can give us, or what's the story behind all of this?
Well, you see, I didn't really knew what YouTube was until when I was like around elementary. I thought it was just like, oh, cool, just post videos, see what you got, just watch Lego videos or whatever. But then most of the time, the channel that you see here, I've been using that channel since around high school. But I think around middle school, I actually had inspiration on, maybe I should do YouTube. Most of the time, like when I first started my YouTube channel back at like posting videos back in 2020, I used to just like do regular gameplay videos and just making fun of these videos or just trying to make the best out of everything, or even sometimes bringing some old nostalgia games that I have back in the day. But really nothing really came up. I just thought maybe or open up it just like thought maybe I should do this because it seems really fun to do.
Mm-hmm. And for what I checked, your content, or as far as your content currently available on your channel go, you started with Dead Rising 3. So, what made you want to start with Dead Rising? I know it's a very nice franchise. I love Dead Rising 1, I love Dead Rising 2. Dead Rising 3 I recently finished, actually I finished tomorrow the game for the first time in my life on my own account. But what made you start with Dead Rising?
Well, we see it wasn't started with just Dead Rising, but it's also started with a bunch of old games that I used to have on my Xbox. Because you see, before I had a PC, I used to do YouTube videos off of an Xbox One that I used to have. Like I used to do games like Skate 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, Dead Rising 3. I was planning to do My Hero Academia game, but then it got canceled due to like online complications.
Mm-hmm. I
But starting
see.
with Dead Rising, I thought Dead Rising because I love that game since I was like around middle school at least. And I've seen a bunch of YouTubers have fun playing it. So I just thought, huh, maybe in this time of 2020, maybe I should bring it back, have people have the nostalgia berries that apparently everybody's always craving for.
And as a
But
mandatory... Oh, sorry, Gun, I think I interrupted you, go on.
all in all, the Dead Rising series, it was just fun to play as, not just play it. Not just that, the amount of funny moments you can think of, like when you build a basically a nuke in the game, and all of a sudden the zombies are gone. You some reason live, but for some reason you're only in your undies. That's the one part I find funny in the game.
Good thing we could at least keep the undies, right?
Yeah.
And between all of the 4 installments so far, which one's your favorite? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
I would have to say from 3 to 4. I'm not 4.
Really?
3. I mean 1. I mean 1 to 3. The fourth
Okay.
one.
We don't
The
talk
fourth
about
one
the
is
4th
just
one. Yeah, we
I
don't
don't know.
talk.
The fourth one just doesn't feel the same, and at the same time, the bosses weren't as interesting as the past games.
I can agree with that. I started also watching Dead Rising content like from 2010, 2012 when I started to actually get a notion of, oh, this is a content platform and I'm joining this. I'm gonna stay here for a while. It's been over 10 years now, and now I work for that platform basically. But yeah, I remember just those old videos from Dead Rising 1 that instantly caught my attention. I don't know, I think there was something classic about Dead Rising 1. Dead Rising 2 came amazingly well, and I was a huge fanboy too of Dead Rising 3 when it came out. And Dead Rising 4, sadly, now that I am an adult, now that I see like problems with games that I used to play and problems with games that I will never play or that I see coming out, yeah, it just wasn't the same.
Dead Rising 4 was just a disappointment when it comes to like I mean the weapons were okay, but it's just sometimes a bit questionable. I mean it's not the first time it's questionable, but just the bosses, they just don't seem as interesting as the past few games were. Because bosses in the past few games, they had their own unique boss music and cutscenes. Meanwhile, the bosses in the game they barely got any cutscenes. Only for a couple of bosses have cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even try to make the bosses in the fourth one interesting. Not as interesting as the second and third game. I mean, the first game was also interesting, but it's just the second and third game, they just gave more, well, character and personality into those bosses, especially makes them more menacing. You're just like, oh shoot, what did I just walked into?
And also I think that since Dead Rising 3, they have been more and more difficult to make actually interesting plot lines and characters. Because Dead Rising 1, it was amazing, every character was fleshed out. I do not know if it was because it was the beginning of this genre of games or just maybe a golden age of horror games or platform games, but it was so much different.
Well, you see, the thing is, from what I learned, Dead Rising, or the plot of Dead Rising, was meant to be like a Resident Evil type of game, but I guess they scrapped it, and so they had to make up their own unique way of making that type of story to the game. That's what I once heard, that Dead Rising used to be part of a plot line towards Resident Evil. Which probably would be nice, but we got Dead Rising, it's good enough.
I do not know why, but Dead Rising, I hope that one day, you know, it just gets a sequel worthy. I hope that one day, if they actually do it, which I think they're likely to do maybe in the future, if they just think, oh, let's revive this franchise, I think it would be nice. Imagine if they actually do a very well done remaster like Resident Evil 2 remake, but for Dead Rising 1. That would be amazing.
Oh, that would definitely be amazing. Like, just imagine like all these old games that we see, like from Dead Rising 1 to 3, they all like enhanced to like RTX graphics.
Yeah, and also actually this time returning the original voice actor of Frank West. I was very sad when I heard that Dead Rising 4 would not have the original voice actor for that.
Oh, that's technically another reason too, because Frank West isn't really Frank West. It just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, it doesn't feel the same. He's not sassy. He's actually goofy. It's weird.
Yes.
He covered wars, you know.
Oh yeah, he definitely covers wars. I know that. Even wars when it comes to Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah, it's true. But also, talking about then games, moving a little bit away from Dead Rising if you don't mind, you also are a very big fan of Dead by Daylight, right? Your videos also had a very big base of foundation on Dead by Daylight, so tell me about it. What was your interest in the game? Why did you decide to make videos about it? And then, how did you choose to mix TF2 with those type of games, or maybe Dead by Daylight and other games you did? Why? Where? When?
You see, when it comes to DBD, it used to be just planned just for a Halloween thing on 2020, but then realizing the popularity of that video, like I don't usually go like make trends for popularity or such, as long as people enjoyed it. But seems like people enjoyed my Dead by Daylight videos more, possibly because Dead by Daylight has more of a bigger community. But basically the main reason why I played Dead by Daylight was all because of the licensed horror movie franchise characters. Because honestly, I am a big horror movie fan. Like I love classic horror movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw. Like all these characters that were in the game, they were technically the main reason. But what truly got me into the game was the Ash Williams character, because I am a huge diehard Evil Dead fan, and I've enjoyed Evil Dead since around high school.
Can you confirm me when was your high school? How many years ago? Because in Brazil we have a different terminology.
It was just like let's just say freshman year, so that'd be like let's see, like 5 to 7 years ago.
Fair enough. And
but
go on. Sorry, go on.
But all in all, about 5 to 7 years ago, I believe I've got into the Evil Dead franchise, and it just grew a special place into my heart. And not just that, playing Dead by Daylight, when you think about it, the game is fun. I'm not gonna lie, it is fun, but just sometimes the game could be very annoying when it comes to the community wise. Because like whenever I try to play smart in the game, whenever you play smart in that game, you always get blamed for over something they suck at.
Sadly, I have heard rumors that it said that DBD is a very toxic community, sadly.
Oh, trust me, it is. Especially when it comes to Twitch streamers that think they're gods just because they stream in Twitch. Like, they have, like, some sort of, like, syndrome. I think they call it, like, a TTV syndrome, which is where, there were a bunch of streamers that played Dead by Daylight. And all because they were talking trash to that one person. They're like, oh, I'm superior than you. I'm a Twitch streamer. Chat, go to their Steam page and start talking smack. Or to their Twitch page and start talking smack. I'm just like, so much for professionalism.
Professionals have standards, right?
Because yeah, exactly. Like, how are you gonna live stream yourself live on camera playing a game and just telling people to go smack talk them just because you suck at a game, or just taking all your blame and hate on somebody, especially on a fellow TTV, YouTuber, or any other streaming platforms? Like, dude, they did nothing. They just played the game. You just suck at playing the game.
Fair enough. I also have to admit that when it comes to trash talking, I myself take part on it, like with myself, you know, or with my friends. I can cry a lot when I die on a game, but Jesus, to do that in front of an audience because you have a disbelief that you have so much power in your hand because there are like 20 people watching you, or 30 people, 100 people, that's just sad. I really hope that I do not become that type of person in the future if I still walk on the path on YouTube in 5 to 10 years.
It's so, but there, see, Dan, it's kind of easy to follow these steps when it comes to not being that type of YouTuber. Because you see, in my perspective, in order to not be that type of YouTuber, is you always have to have this mindset, like my father once told me, which is that no matter how good you are in like a video game or something, like no matter how pro you are, there's always going to be someone a lot better than you, and you always have to expect it. And you're not a god on something. There's always going to be someone else that's going to be better than you. You don't know who, you don't know when it'll begin. There's just always going to be someone better than you. Like I'm not a pro on Dead by Daylight or TF2 or Fortnite or all these other games because I know there's other people possibly better than me. I mean, sure, it will frustrate me that I lost, but all you should know is that there's gonna be people better than you, and the best you can do is just check your mistakes. Like, what did you do wrong? And stop blaming.
That's a very fair thing to say, and I will respond to your father's argument with my own father's argument, which I don't think it was his, but it was a very wise thing to say.
That's the thing about problem nowadays with these streamers that play video games and they get all toxic. They don't blame. They just keep blaming. They don't learn from their mistakes.
True. My father once said that a fool, he will be angry if he gets corrected, but a wise man will be thankful. We should all choose to be the best of our own wise men in these situations.
Yeah, and the biggest obvious thing is just, you don't tell your community to start talk smacking everybody, because it's not going to make things any better, and instead it just makes you a lot worse. For example, I had a couple experiences when it comes to YouTube drama-wise with different 15.ai YouTubers. Obviously, they started talking smack about me, but just me, I just go like, community, everyone, just let them be. Just don't do anything. It's not going to solve anything, and it won't make our community any better. Because that's the thing. You don't engage or respond to someone who talks smack to you. You got to let it go, because if you let it go and just ignore them, they're obviously going to get bored. It's like ignoring a bully. If you ignore a bully, they're just going to get bored and pick on someone else.
That's something I addressed today on my reaction to Kaz Van Der Poel's Sherry's Revenge from his Ultimate Minecraft cartoon series. Is that, for example, when it comes to hackers, as well as for toxic people, the more attention you give to them, the more they will come back for you. So you just need to be able to ignore them, be able to also defend yourself or stand your ground. Do not allow yourself to be disrespected, but you need to also know that these people crave attention. And the more attention you give them, the more they will return for more.
That's the thing you always have to do, especially when you're a YouTuber that's growing this rapidly. You just don't give them attention and just mind your own business, because they're not really affecting you. Sure, they might affect you mentally, but just not physically.
Yes.
At least it's not physically.
Yes.
And plus, they're just basically people that just do this all day. They just breathe really heavy and start typing on the keyboard really fast, like they basically they don't really know any better. So you're pretty much the better person.
Yeah. It's always important for you to try to be the better person, not for them, but for yourself.
Yeah, like honestly, throughout my time as a 15.ai YouTuber, I have to admit I have gone through a couple dramas with 2 YouTubers, mostly because no matter how much I try to help them or try to sort things out with them, they're just never satisfied. And then to the point where they end up being toxic in my own community server, and so I had to cut them loose. Like, dude, I can't tolerate this behavior. You either behave or you're getting kicked out. Because rules are rules. You have to behave. I'm not the type of person that just lets it go. If you're gonna act up, then we're gonna act up too. The best thing to do is just never cause a problem. It's simple as that.
True.
But all in all, back to the subject on Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight, yeah, it's fun, but I just think it's far beyond safe because ever since they added this new night DLC, I see that the game just got more and more broken.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a little problem with balancing these types of games. Is that there will always be like this main meta for the game that everyone will be playing when it's good. I remember like the videos about CS:GO when the revolver was added, which basically was a pistol that one-shot at enemies. Did you ever play CS:GO, HIGAMER?
I never had the chance to, but I actually want to play it. But I've seen a couple of YouTubers played it before, and they've gone through a whole load of rage fest.
Yeah, that's true. But imagine like if in DBD they added like a creature or an assassin that just insta killed you with one hit. That was how broken the revolver were. It was like to be a simple thing, but it had to be nerfed. But a lot of people were just in CSGO for rage, for funny moments, and CSGO is also a very toxic community. But there will be sometimes metas, and people will be mad when people don't play by the meta. It's a little bit annoying.
Yeah, it pretty much is. I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, for example, there's like, obviously you might have heard that Dead by Daylight added Wesker from Resident Evil.
Oh yes, I've seen the memes.
Me and a friend of mine, Commander Leopard, we were so irritated. We were so excited that he was here, but just after constantly facing him and just the amount of broken metas they have, we got so irritated real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, Wesker was fun, but then these people that were all pros or try to like, try to be a tryhard in the game, they just ruined the fun out of Wesker.
Mm-hmm. I think when it comes to DBD, I can see that it's a very high competitive environment. So it's hard to be able to find a casual game.
Trust me, it is so competitive. Like, nobody can even have fun. It's just like fun is not allowed in that game apparently. And like, even if you try to have fun or try to play smart, everybody's always gonna start targeting you.
I can imagine that. The videos that I see usually when it comes to DBD are just people going around for like a minute, on one object when the killer's trying to chase them, to play mind games with the killer to be able to escape,
Yeah, but not to sound that I'm bragging or anything, but just sometimes when I play games like Dead by Daylight, I try to play smart because I feel like almost everybody, they act like a typical horror movie character. Like they keep falling into their traps or just keep running away instead of doing the objective. Like, dude, stop running away from the killer. Stop getting caught. Work on the objective if you want to win.
I never was too much of a big fan of horror movies, depending on the type of genre they go for. Like Friday the 13th. That's like the type of videos or movies that I don't like because the survivors are just so dumb.
Exactly.
There are so many.
All DVD survivors are.
Yeah, when it comes to horror and drama, like top type of horror movies, I cannot stand them. Like Scream, like the Friday the 13th, or Nightmare on Elm Street. They just do such terrible choices and they repeat it on every single movie. That's why I usually tend to go to more horror action movies like Resident Evil because at least I can enjoy the action.
Yeah, but all in all, this is a problem sometimes. When you play smart in Dead by Daylight, you're always the last to live or the last to die, because throughout my experience in Dead by Daylight, I'm always the last one to either live or the last one to die. Like, I'm just like, what is wrong with you people? Why won't you guys play smart?
Yeah. And
even when I'm the one distracting the killer, like, I last in chase a lot longer than everyone else. But even though I last long in the chase, nobody's doing the objective. Like, what are you doing? How do you expect to win if you don't do the objective?
Then sometimes, for you not to get angry, or at least a little bit less angry, you need to play with a close group of friends.
Yeah, that's why, like, DBD is mostly fun if you play with friends, but just when you're playing by yourself most of the time, it could be a little annoying.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I wouldn't say angry. I'm more like annoyed.
Yeah, that's also fair. I remember when I used to play CSGO, I used to play, and I'm maybe coming back recently because I got a new PC. But I think in CSGO, for example, I think it's the same with DBD, is that if you press play game alone to find a random group of people, you need to be ready to know that you might get anything, from the best players to the worst players, and they will either be on your side or against you. The same thing goes with CSGO. If you're playing like a competitive game of 5 people versus 5 people, You need to understand that you chose to be alone and to get 4 random people. You chose to be able to get people from all skills that rotate around your skill level. So you need to be ready to accept that. And some people just don't accept it. They will do their own type of gameplay. They will do like the worst strategies and the worst type of choices. And you need to understand that you will have to be okay. That is just, for me, it makes sense. You have to be okay with maybe getting anything. That's on you.
Yeah. But just the thing that's the thing though when it comes to like toxic people talking smack, usually I don't either reply. There are times sometimes I roast them, but then most of the time I just laugh it off because the only thing you can do whenever someone's trying to pick a fight with you just laugh it off because that makes you better than them.
Yes.
Like, if you don't respond and just laugh it off. Like because these people that always talk smack about me in Dead by Daylight or whatever, sometimes they don't make the bit of sense. It just makes you want to laugh.
Mm-hmm. And if that don't work, use more gun.
Use more gun.
And then since that was a little bit more gun can be a good solution in video games, people in video games.
Yeah.
But yeah, and now since we added like the obligatory TF2 reference, yeah, go on.
But just after Dead by Daylight, I decided to quit because of I tried to give it one more chance, but I decided to quit because I feel like the game is just becoming beyond saved when it comes to balance wise and toxicity wise. Not just that, it's boring later on because it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I can understand. Some communities they need to highly improve, or they need to be a very tight community to be able to support this kind of environment.
So then after I left Dead by Daylight, I kind of got addicted to a new game. Even though I remember I used to hate it, but then after years later, it just got better. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna get angry with me if I say this.
Oh, which game?
Fortnite.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I get the feeling a lot of people are gonna get angry at me for saying that. I mean, honestly, look, I get the game is for kids or whatever, but just like Dead by Daylight, if you put the community aside, the game is actually pretty fun.
I have to say I was always a big memer and I was always on the side of Minecraft, but just because it was like the little fight of fork knife versus the mine of the craft, you know?
I don't really care which game is better. They're both games. Games are games. I don't care which is better.
No, yeah, I know, but usually when it comes to communities, you can always like start hating on a side just for the memes or because that side is being recently and even more compared to another game or side. Honestly, Fortnite usually the thing I don't that game doesn't attract me. I even hold a little bit grudge of it because Muselk went from TF2 to Fortnite. That's a little sad for me. I used to love his videos, but in the end, it's just a game. Allow people to play what they want.
But yeah, but just the thing is, sometimes I don't really say that I do play Fortnite because as soon as I say I do, just for fun, like I don't care about the community or anything. It's actually fun. And it actually got better. Everybody just gets so angry after that. Like, dude, is that like a trigger word? Like, I don't play for the community or whatever. The game is actually fun. Not just that, the game actually got better with their no builds. Because I remember I used to hate the game because of the builds. But then after knowing that there's more game modes you can do, especially with no builds, the game just got more fun and a lot better.
I can definitely agree that I remember every single time they'll have like a giant tower on the Fortnite videos whenever they would come out.
There was a time like years back when I first played Fortnite during season 1. Somebody made a damn fortress in the middle of the circle, and I'm just like, how did they take the time to build that? Like, how fast did they build that fortress?
My goals are beyond your comprehension, said the fort builder.
Exactly. Then no builds, they just made the game a lot better. That's for sure, because builds can be very annoying.
I can definitely understand like the anger about it. It's just so confusing to me seeing videos of people destroying like the fortress or buildings and having to find the people, but the people is just going up and building more. It's confusing to me.
But just later on, after getting into Fortnite, the game did got a lot better, especially, I don't know, people don't really see it fully. Like all they see is just the cringy community. But then after playing it for a while, it just got a little bit more interesting. And also, I remember I thought I was gonna be like, I'm gonna play it for like a week and then I'm done. But then later on, I just went all, okay, this game is actually fun. A little better than Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, and with more and more time that passes, the people that were the kids on the community, they will start eventually to grow up. Hopefully not into the sweaty tryhards, those that already got into the game when it started. I even had a friend that would break his keyboard on playing Fortnite once. So when I heard that, I was just like, dude, it's a game.
I think I know how that feels because I remember when I used to play on an Xbox, I used to play Cuphead. That game was infuriating.
Oh yeah, I've seen some videos about Cuphead. That game is for
I
raging.
think there was a moment I had so much pent up rage. I actually broke my controller in half once.
Yeah, I think I've had my fair chance of almost breaking my PS2 controllers when I was younger because of rage. But it just comes a moment where you need to understand that you're a grown person and you need to control yourself. But one day those kids they will grow up, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am now. Like I used to rage a lot in games, but I rage a little, but just not as much as I used to do. Not as much as I used to. I just usually oh well, learn from my mistake.
I remember when I was playing once Gmod and in a community server of one that I used to play a lot called the FWKZT, which stands for Friends Who Kill Zombies Together. And usually now and then there are zombies, like they're kids playing the game, like under 13 years old. And they're just those people that will get angry, they will be annoyed, they will tell the kid to shut up, be quiet. They will say, oh, this game is not for you, you're not old enough. But let's be real. Every gamer nowadays had that phase of when they're younger, they would play games that they were not supposed to be playing at. They would join communities that they are not supposed to be joining. They would play games and talk on the mic when it was probably not the best thing to do, but they did.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying that for people like this, they just don't understand that they can mute the kids. They can have their own game playing, just staying in their own zone. Yeah, they need to bitch about it, you know? Even though they would be the same kids probably when they were younger. Some people
they're just like they're just like this guy that's been memeing around Fortnite named Ninja goes like, "The f you say to me, you little." It's just like that.
But you're a big Fortnite player. Do you ever intend to bring Fortnite videos to your channel, maybe? Since I
was thinking of making a video that Demoman got into Reality Zero because there was a character that's like customizable. I try to make him as close as Demoman. Like I was gonna make that Demoman was in there, and then he goes like, "Wait a minute, why do I look different?" But I want to do Fortnite videos, but I made a poll once about it, but everybody hated it. Like they immediately just say no. I'm like, geez, not even gonna give it a try at least.
You know, there's a D&D say about it. Like, if you can roll for it or if you can vote for it, anything's possible.
But honestly, as much as it'd be fun to make videos out of, especially with the replay system, it just, it'll just be like a place for me to just game whenever I'm not doing any videos. But all in all,
is your escape too, right? Is your escape?
It's my escape. It's my escape, yeah, because Valve still didn't fix the bot crisis, and I hope they would.
Yeah, sadly, there's some bot problems in TF2. A lot of bot problems.
But just if we're on the subject of TF2,
yeah,
I've been playing TF2 for years actually. I believe since like 2014, like middle school age.
Okay, around the same time that I started playing, I believe. Go on.
But I remember when I used to play TF2, I used to be a pro sniper. Like every time, everybody just gets out the base, and then I just snipe them immediately. And then, as I used to main sniper, and now I just main Demoman and engineer. And because of me playing engineer and always playing engineer as friends, I made a whole joke society religious thing called the Engineer Society. Like sometimes I actually made an SFM poster of what the engineer god looks like. And I always make like a whole role play, like a cult thing, where as soon as an engineer comes into one room we're building in, I go like, "Welcome, fully engineer. Do you wish to be part of the society?"
It's so rare to find engineer mains nowadays. It's so rare.
Yeah, mostly because engineers are basically for players who don't usually like to play, but they still get kills anyways.
Yeah, I think this is one of those jobs that it's hard to main. You don't get the appreciation like other classes like medic, soldier, or scout, but you're not also in that category of people that are like the 200% toxic, so you recognize as soon as you want, you know. Engineer, that takes a lot of work to get good at, and also you need a very good team. So it might be very difficult to find a good situation to get interested to main engineer.
time, maybe you probably saw in one of my videos, I did find like the most broken thing to do as engineer, which is I place a sentry and dispenser on top of the roof where the bridge is in 2-4. And it's just funny how everybody just gets out, all of a sudden they get shot by sentries.
Yeah,
And then as soon as I did it, loads of other engineers. After that, loads of other engineers started joining me after that. I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be hard for the blue team.
It's always so nice when you're playing TF2 and you see that you just started something. You know, oh, so this is gonna become a thing for the next hour. This is nice.
It's been a thing for a while. Like ever since I grew big on YouTube, and as soon as I joined TF2 just to play engineer, literally everybody started to follow me. All of a sudden, everybody plays engineers. I'm like, what just happened? And some people even say, "Hey, it's HIGAMER on YouTube."
Oh, this is nice. I have yet to come to that happen to me, because my content is still mostly reactions, but I do very much intend to stream and also play some series of games. I intend to maybe play either Resident Evil 4 or like Project Zomboid in the near future if everything goes well. But yeah, I still have yet to have something like that happening to me on gaming communities. That would be cool.
Oh, I'm sure they will, especially with your content like this. It might not happen soon. I mean now, but it will happen eventually, depending. Because I'm pretty sure you doing reaction videos or such, everybody loves reaction videos now. Huh?
Oh yeah, I completely agree with you. And
everybody loves reaction videos, so eventually you might get recognized somewhere in one of these games. If you do, then. Ooh.
And no, I think it's something like it's bound to be asked now. What was your connection with the TF2 Mercs for you to want to make videos about them? There are so many series right now, especially around the voice AI programs like UberDuck and also 15AI. Whenever it comes back to air, I hope it comes back by Christmas. But there are so many series where the Mercs just became the face of your channel. You know, can you explain to us the inspiration about that, or just the interested to make that?
Wait, making a TF2 15.ai, or was it my latest
video?
Yeah,
your TF2 videos with the Mercs, you know?
Oh. Well, I've seen a bunch of other people do 15.ai videos. I thought, hey, that looks fun to do. But then, some of the videos were entertaining, but then later on they just started to get old, such as Mercs Argue or Demoman Discovers videos. But just what made me thought of what I want to do is, I remember when I was younger, I wanted to be like some sort of film producer, and so I found the opportunity of being a film producer. That being is making gaming videos and just making a story out of it using 15.ai, like an actual film producer. That's why me and the crew have our own organization, or not organization, but our own crew name called the Kappa Crew, or that's like we call ourselves the Kappa Crew Studio Gang. We all are pretty much like the film producer wise when it comes to 15.ai. Like we like to make skits or movies out of it instead of just like memeing it like everybody does.
Yeah. That's a very fantastic, because when it comes to to reactions on my channel and videos, there were 2 times where I felt like crying in the middle of a video. And one of the times it was during my unbox on last Halloween, where I actually got an unusual on the first box that I ever opened on TF2, basically, you know. The first key that I got, and it was so nice. But the second time it was, I felt something. It was during your last episode of Demoman in Subnautica. Or it was like the episode 9.
Demoman leaves. Whoa, when Demoman leaves.
Yeah, I mean, the just ambience, you just feel it has such a finite tension to the air, you know. You just feel like it came such a long way, and it was such a nice journey. And
because you see, when it comes to because you see, when it comes to stories like these, you obviously I can't obviously make Demoman say, screw this planet, I'm leaving. No, because Demoman had spent nearly a year on that planet in that planet's time, and he's gone through some good memories and some bad ones too. But all in all, he just realized he always wanted to go. It's one of these things when you realize you're finally going home, but at the same time you're just like, man, I can make a living in this planet. I don't know what to do. He's in one of those situations. He wants to go home, but at the same time, he doesn't know if he wants to go home. Truly.
Yeah, that planet is part of his life now. It's part of his story. You can go back on that.
But he wanted to take the cuttlefish with him, but just sadly, he doesn't know how the cuttlefish would be or how he would survive in Earth, because, you know, Earth's oceans are a lot different than planet Subnautica's oceans.
Yeah.
but he wanted to take the cuttlefish, but then he just had to say goodbye because the cuttlefish was the only friend he had for only a couple weeks.
Yeah, sadly. And also, what
I
was
mean,
your inspiration to be Demoman?
well, you see, I see Demoman always being the villain when it comes to like Demoman discovers or Demoman and doing everything, but I'm just like, nah, I want to make him a better story, not discovering everything.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I'm kind of a slight Demoman main. I love Demomans, but mostly I just play Demo Knight. Like usually I go melee.
Yeah, that's a very viable option for Demoman in specific.
But the reason why I chose Demoman truly was mostly because I love Demoman as a character, and I want to make him a bit more unique instead of those Demoman discovers. Which, in fact, for the past like couple months now, I've been developing my own lore when it comes to my mercs. Because as much as everybody wants everything to be lore accurate, where's the fun in making your own lore, man? I mean, that's the point of called different universe.
That's fair. And so, just to confirm, so the Demoman Subnautica, Heavy in Subnautica Below Zero, and the Mercs in Jurassic World, it's all connected. All of the 15 AI videos you make here, they are connected.
Well, some, not all, well, most, not some, because like the Demoman Gaming or the Christmas Carol thing, I would say it's not canon to season 1. Okay. Which is what I call. Because you see, the Demoman Subnautica and Jurassic World, they're all meant to be connected in one big story, like season 1 wise. Because you see, I'm pretty sure you would want to come to the question. One of the questions you would have would be just my inspiration on making these series, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Mercs play DVD. Starting with Mercs playing DVD. The inspiration of that, because since I played DVD and did videos of it, I thought, what would happen if I make Dead by Daylight gameplay with the Mercs and have playing their favorite killers for my Demoman argues about Dead by Daylight killers. The inspiration for that video was, what would happen? I always question myself, how would my Mercs play Dead by Daylight and who would they main? And so it was half inspired by another 15.ai video, which was called Demoman or Medic roast everybody for their different DVD characters. I'm like, man, Medic's got to have a main. Maybe it should be Nurse or Doctor because it's more of his style.
And by the way, what is your favorite killer? I don't think I asked you that.
Actually, I like all of the licensed characters, like mostly from all my favorite horror movies, whether it be Michael Myers, Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, Pinhead. I just only like the licensed characters because I'm a huge horror movie fan.
Fair enough. Continue.
But mainly, I mostly main Nemesis because it's actually satisfying to punch survivors in the game, especially after you hook them. You just use them as a punching bag. Like every time I get frustrated from this one survivor that keeps on flickering the lights at me, and after I hook him, I punch him and be like, "That's what you get."
And talking about your season 1 series, then, would you have a favorite one?
Yes. I wouldn't say I have a favorite. I don't really favor any series. It's just as long as I committed and work hard to it, and that's all that matters to me. Okay. But if I have to choose, it would have to be my Demoman and Subnautica, mostly because it was my first successful series, which I guess from what I heard, it became a cult classic to the 15.ai community.
It was a nice one.
And I guess that's what I'm mostly known for now. I mean, a person that I'm friends with named Australian Kankapis, he said something about that. Apparently, I started I pioneered a new genre to 15.ai, which is making stories out of video games. Which, like, I just became a trendsetter, and I'm just like, wow, really? Because I'm actually surprised nobody's ever done that. Like, do video games and just make a story out of it.
Yeah, 15AI opened so many doors, and even though it started, I think it's something that all the guests that I had on the podcast agreed that it had a rough start with Demoman discovers kinks and other fetishes, but it's going on nice directions. You know, there are so many nice series and nice usages of 15AIs and other voice programs. Like your series, there are like all the other meme videos like Master Rhino's Jaraditon, which I can recommend you guys to check out, but be aware. And Cantina's political debates that even though they can be a little bit questionable sometimes too, they are so fun to watch. There are so many different genres of 15AI videos that are emerging with the TF2 community. And it's something that helps both the program and also the TF2 community to grow.
You know, just like you, I'm not much of a political person, but it's actually interesting to watch and learn a bit of things. But I did thought like if I was, I'd be an independent because I don't really favor any side. I just favor who has the most common sense.
I can agree on
Because
that.
you know, even though it doesn't matter how good you are in politics or such, everybody's gonna be wrong at some point. You can't always be correct.
Yeah, the only thing that we got perfectly described is that's gonna be an imperfect at some point. Something's gonna be imperfect. It's not gonna be 100%
If
true.
you saw from Cantina's, if you saw from Cantina's, I'm sorry, if you saw from Cantina's third video, Miss Pauling, she was on point. Like everything she said, that was literally what I thought.
Yeah, everyone is wrong at one point. When you add extremism to your point of view, at one point you will be very much wrong in something. That's about to happen.
I was scared with Red Engineer and Blue Demoman agreeing on something.
Yeah, I have to
like,
say,
no.
when those types of people start agreeing, that's when you need to worry, very much worry.
I was just like, oh no, all hell's about to break loose.
Yeah. But hey, tell me, this is something that I asked Cantina, something that I asked Rhino. So tell me, what is your favorite part and your least favorite part about making videos?
My biggest favorite part was basically just developing the story, like having my creative mindset to think of something and just editing the videos to make it like look right as if like an actual filmmaker would do. The less favorite part was mostly recording the videos, because sometimes when you record, you always end up in like problems or recording problems or some things in the game that's not meant to happen and you have to restart again. And that's the only thing that's frustrating about my work is recording the gameplay footages, because sometimes I'll either have recording problems, the game's either lagging, or there are just those things that weren't just meant to happen, like weren't thought as I planned, so I had to like improvise.
I am surprised because since that most of the people that interview I think everyone interviewed Rhino and the Continue crew, they all say that animating is the most annoying part.
It's annoying if you have that mindset, but just if you try to have that positive mindset and if you warm yourself up and try to get yourself energized and just thinking all the opportunities of animating. Like me, I animate off of Source Filmmaker. Yes, it is frustrating at sometimes and it could be a little energy consuming, but just it's actually fun to animate, especially just now I'm actually practicing 3D animation and how SFM works. So if I get better on that, it could evolve, it could re-evolutionize my channel on SFM cinematics. But just I'm sure it's probably frustrating for them because they have to work it out or work together, since I know they probably animate on Gmod, so they all have to work together. But me, I'm more of a self-working person. Like I only work by myself on stuff and things like that, because as much it is helpful to have people with you, sometimes they just don't do how you picture it, you know?
I see. But Cantina actually moved from Gmod to SFM, and his crew, there's a lot of people working at SFM too, and Rhino also works on SFM.
Oh, that's cool. They moved on.
I think the Cantina moved on, but yeah, Ryan, I think he was always on SFM. I'm also starting on SFM a little bit. I even got some people to help me out.
I'm sorry, you go on.
No, it's just that the SFM is just, since I think they're mainly used for screenshots, Rhino sometimes he's trying to move on to do a full animation, sometimes there are some movement, but all of the screenshots and pictures used, I think, on the current videos from Cantina and also Rhino, they are all from SFM. And I'm also starting on SFM, not to animate everything, I'm a newbie, but I'm getting posters. It's very fun to post things in SFM, that's so fun.
Posters are a good start. So that's why, like, usually I try to animate it as I can, like not just like frame, like just like picture to picture. Sometimes I try to make it like frame by frame, almost like as if it's like slow stop motion, like that. Like if you saw from my Jurassic World, the way I do that somersault, it's supposed to look animated. Like if you, depending on how the speed is, it actually looks animated. But all in all, yeah, usually but yeah, that's cool, they moved on. But screenshots, I say you should start with screenshots, and maybe if you could, you should look up some good tutorial videos. And if you want, I'd be more than happy to teach. I'm already teaching a couple of my crew on how to do SFM. But if you want something to learn, I'm more than happy to teach.
Yeah, everyone's been very nice about the SFM. SFM looks to be a very nice community, because I already had Rhino give me a few clues or a few guidelines. Crashmall was also kind enough to add me on Steam, so he can be like a quick call to like have some questions or taking some questions to him. He's been very nice about that. You also offered just now, so the SFM community right now has been very receiving of me, and that's very cool.
Of course, if you want to try SFM, we'd be more than happy to help. Like, you know, it's always nice to have someone else.
Yeah, it's a good change, you know, considering so many toxic communities out there, and the ones that we just talked. SFM has been one of the most receiving communities so far.
To say, those who use SFM are more hardworking and more humble, you know?
That's a good point of view. Especially as SFM can be very problematic sometimes with the whole
reason why we choose... The main reason why, I'm pretty sure other people have different reasons why, but the reason why I chose SFM was because SFM is better quality than Gmod. Because with Gmod, you have to rely on like photoshopping apps or whatever, but no, SFM has better quality. And I'm kind of more for quality than what's easier, because I like to do what challenges me.
Yeah, and even though like sometimes I don't use it just for completely work, I'm trying to use for thumbnail for my future TF2 gaming videos. But it's just fun to like have a terrible idea and put it to work. I don't know if you saw, but I think last week or a few days ago, I made a little gift for Master Rhino. Did you see what I did? Did you actually catch that?
Oh yes, you did. You gave him a burger.
Oh yeah, I gave him like a picture of the Baconator surrounded by 5 Demomans. He said he loved it. I'm happy with it. I'm happy, even though it's just some terrible thing to do, like to animate or to try to make a poster out of it. It was fun, you know? SFM, it's a fun thing to be able to master. You actually feel proud of yourself when you accomplish small things, even though they're the most horrific ones.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to show you like some arts that I made. Like I just recently just posted one in your art one, in case you're interested. I made something called The Master and Apprentice. This one I was really proud of.
Oh, let me see. I think The Master and the Apprentice. Let me see. I am not gonna be showing this on the recording, but let me see. You don't
have to. You don't have to.
No. I want to see it. Art. Oh, I found it. Oh, looks very good. Oh, and also, I am surprised that I did not remember that you were a One Piece fan. You seen Demoman using the 3 katanas?
Actually, yeah, that was actually what I was meant to make. But people are gonna question, don't I copy it from One Piece? But I'm just saying, newsflash, One Piece doesn't exist in my universe, sadly.
Yeah, so I just need to also start to dominate the lighting mechanisms, you know? To be able to actually make good pictures. But that looks very good, that looks very nice.
Yeah. But just, okay, so if we're back on the topic on what inspired me to create my series, right? Or did I answer that question?
No, I think okay, now I think, we got a little carried. I got a little bit lost. So just establish yourselves again on the conversation. I think that I asked you about what was your favorite and the least favorite parts about making the video, and you answered that.
Yeah, but if you want to know the inspiration on what made me create the series, was just that technically the only inspiration was what I have is just that after doing DVD and I wanted to quit DVD, I looked at my Steam library and I'm thinking, what am I gonna do? Until all of a sudden I realized, I remember when I first started YouTube, I tried to do a Subnautica series, but it failed, so I thought of doing it. I gave it another chance, which is I decided to do Demoman and Subnautica. And people ask me what are my plans after that, so I had to look at my Steam library again and then do Jurassic World Evolution, the first one. Sadly, I would do the second one, but I don't have it. But that's when I realized I gotta make a story connected, and so I decided to make my own lore connected to both series. Like, how could Subnautica be connected to Jurassic World? And I did. That being, most of the dinosaurs that are created by Medic, they have certain gene pools from planet Subnautica. Yeah,
I remember seeing that on those videos. The only series I think I didn't see from your channel so far is Heavy on Subnautica Below Zero, which is something that I really want to get into because my boy Heavy is there. But it's something that I really want to see lore-wise. It's been very interesting to catch those little hints now and then.
Trust me, it'll be good. Because Below Zero, that's when I put in more lore on what's going to happen in the future. Like, possible events that'll happen during the future of Season 1. Because, you see, starting next year, I plan to make a part 2 of the Jurassic World series. It was going to be kept secret, but freaking somebody leaked it, which I was annoyed, so I thought might as well tell. So in the future, somewhere next year, hopefully when 15.ai comes out, I was planning the part 2 is called the Biosyn arc. Because based off of the actual Jurassic Worlds for series, there's a rival company of engine, that being Biosyn. The Biosyn arc is gonna be the series, a season finale of season 1 plus part 2 of Jurassic World, which is gonna be like the end game of the Jurassic World Subnautica arc. But all I know is that what I plan for the Biosyn arc is to make it more ambitious, more interesting, and just lay a few homages to scenes from the movies and in the novels. And I did plan to add some different unique styles into it, and I actually have been planning to add more characters and give them more backstory, and actually at least have them be part of my crew, like part of the Kappa crew. And that's what I plan. But after the Biosyn arc, all I can say is only time can tell.
That's fair. And do you have any plans of improving the quality of your videos by any means until then? Like, you're what? Sorry? Huh?
What I have to improve would be learning how to make it not look like it's garbage animation. Like maybe put a little bit more frame by frame into it. Like not just one scene, then the next scene is another, like I did in my past videos. At least make it a little more like frame by frame-ish, like when I did that somersault in my Jurassic World video. At least make it, and I gotta find more effects to make it fit into the action.
Fair enough. That's something that we always need to aim to just improve our videos and improve ourselves on the quality of what we are putting into our projects. That's nice.
The next thing I gotta add to is I gotta work on certain voice qualities for 15.ai wise. For example, like Alan or everyone else, they gotta have like better voices and at least people can understand them a little bit. Another thing I plan to do was maybe start writing my own scripts, because most of my lines I make in my 15.ai are all like winged, but it seems people still enjoyed it anyways. Especially I gotta practice my own voices, because as you see from my video, I also am kind of a good voice actor, but I'm still learning on different expressions or different vocals.
I remember you dubbed yourself on the videos. I think I remember. I have this thing like whenever I see like the content creator himself doing the voice, I always call him by his name. So I think I always called you HIGAMER on your videos when you showed up as Ash.
That's technically my name. That's why.
Oh yeah, it's true.
I did decide to put my own lore onto why I'm in Ash's body, but that won't be explained till like soon, like till when the time comes.
Secrets.
Because you see, nobody knows. But I'm pretty sure between you and I, but a lot of people don't know the full secret of my 15.ai universe, but I do plan to have my 15.ai universe to have like little small teasers or secrets that might be hinted, and loads of people are gonna have loads of conspiracy theories, but just all in all, they're just gonna have to wait and see the true secrets on everything.
That's very nice to hear, and that's very enticing for the audience. I definitely hope to be there to be able to watch that. I really need to catch up on the heavy on Below Zero. That's something I really need to do this next week. That's something I'm gonna do this next week.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But the next thing too is after what's it called, season 1, there were a lot of things that I'm thinking of for season 2. Like at first I was gonna do like not a gameplay, but just maybe animated wise, like Mercs and Resident Evil or something like that, but I don't know. There's just so much things to do for season 1. I just don't know which. So that's why I'm trying to like think of or plan for the next year while 15.ai is down.
Yeah, something I need to do while 15.ai is down is start writing the script for my next season of the Mercs try to open a Minecraft server. That's something I gotta do. It's been a long time since I did the season 0. I need to try to get back to that.
Yeah.
But hey.
But all in all I have for now is just like concept arts of what the Biosyn arc could have been, at least. Like on SFM wise, I mostly just for fun. I try to think of like what would it look like, or try to think of concept arts, and if it looks good, I'll plan to use it for the future.
So and tell me. No, go on. Sorry.
Yes.
No, I interrupted you. You go on. Sorry.
Nah, I already forgot what I was gonna say.
God damn it, Daniel. God damn, what did you do? Why did you keep interrupting people? Bad Brazilian.
No,
no. I've done that with you. I've done that with Rhino. I've done that with the cantina. I just need to shush sometimes. Sorry, guys. Sorry, audience.
No. It's literally okay, because it's normal when people forget what to say.
Yeah, but you did because I interrupted you. So that's on the Brazilian man today. That's why I'm the weakest Brazilian man.
Okay, Mr. Brazilian man, you were gonna ask?
I was just going to ask where do you see your channel in the future? What's your plans for the future of your channel? Even though you have so many plans, do you have any
Well,
plans itself for the channel?
well, I did thought that I should move on besides just regular gameplay montage videos to making like stories out of it, like I did with 15.ai. But how I see myself in the future, I don't see myself as something big because I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. Yet only time can tell, and it only depends on if you put your back into it. Let's say like if I did end up being #1 in 15.ai, to me that's cool. But just all in all, I don't expect that to come to me because if you want something done, you got to work hard for it, and you can't just expect anything else. You got to rely on yourself, and you got to work as hard as you can. You just got to have that ambition and motivation, because my motivation on making videos is people like you. You all enjoy what I created, because back in the day I never had that feeling on people enjoying what I make. But just seeing you, Wrath, everyone else enjoying my videos, it motivates me even more to make these videos and wanting to make more stories for you all.
Yeah.
And I want to make better stories than whatever movie or media we make now, because everything we see in movies or TV shows now, it either has terrible writing, terrible cinematics, or just basically a remake that's full of nostalgia berries, or just a bunch of propaganda, and that's not entertainment. And as a content creator, it's my job and duty to entertain you guys and set you all free from all the harshness we all get. I know that may sound corny or too sentimental, but that's just how I do YouTube. Like, I don't expect to be big or anything. If I get big, that's cool. I just only want people being entertained, like people like you, Wrath, or anybody. Every time I see you or Wrath reacted to my videos, it just inspired me more to do more videos for you guys. I don't expect to be big or whatever. I mean, it's cool to be big on YouTube or something, yeah, but that doesn't matter. What truly matters to me is people are entertained.
I can definitely agree with that. YouTube, games, TF2, and so many other things were escape valve for me when I was younger. I didn't have many friends, and I even developed some internet relationships that were stronger than my physical relationships. I think that people that are watching this podcast, people that are actually being into gaming or computer gaming or Xbox gaming or any type of platform, but with that any relationship that was a parasocial relationship. You know what is a parasocial relationship, HIGAMER808?
Please do explain.
Parasocial relationships, as the way that I am defining for this context, are relationships or maybe even connections that people form with virtual figures or not real figures from the internet. For example, I'm talking with you, HIGAMER. You are right now your persona. You are HIGAMER, the YouTuber. I do not know who you are in real life, but I am here developing a connection with you, your persona that you present yourself on the internet. And we all have done that without knowing. With YouTubers, social influencers, we fall in love with the way those people present themselves. And that is something that for some people, like it was for me, that was a life-saving thing. I didn't have friends, I had my YouTubers. I didn't have like the school people to talk, I had my gaming buddies. And even though I never got to know the real them, they were as real to me as the next person, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although, as much as that's good, sometimes, I mean, throughout my experience on YouTube, there are some moments you have to be careful who you're friends with.
No, definitely, just like in real life. But yeah, it's true.
Because there were two people that I used to collaborate with, and yeah, pretty much they have been using me, and so that's when I had to cut myself loose from them. Like, I can't, like, I'm not letting you use me anymore. Like,
yeah.
You know.
No, yeah, I can definitely agree with that. You need to know when it's a tough relationship.
I don't want to. I would tell you who they are, but I'm not saying their names because everybody's just gonna say I'm inciting the drama again, but I'm not. Mostly they were, but just all in all, I'm not gonna say the names, but I'm pretty sure you can probably might guess because there were only two people I collaborated with. But I'll let you guess it.
Oh, I think that's something that's better to leave off the podcast then. I'm thinking this podcast is not to incite drama.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
Exactly. Like maybe like when we're not in this podcast, you can guess it through like DMs or something because I'm not saying who it is because for the past like 3 months, I've been targeted over that drama, and I did nothing. Pretty much you could say the people that I had drama with, they were playing the victim, and I was blamed for over nothing.
I see. But hey,
But just
gamer.
all in all, but I'm just happy that I had my crew to back me up with.
But hey, gamer. Sadly,
Yes.
we are very close to the end of our time, of the free time for the interview that I had for today. So, do you have anything else to add or to tell the people that actually stuck with the two crazy us in this podcast for an hour now, exactly 1 hour now? Do you have anything to say?
Well, first off, I think I might have answered like most of your questions except one.
I think you answered all of them.
Well, not the Ash one.
Oh, yeah, it's true. You did not. I was going to say that now. You did not tell me why did you choose Ash?
Okay, so I chose Ash because the actor Bruce Campbell, he is my hero, and he led me to become who I am now. Because basically, I had a lot of people that I looked up to, like Bruce Campbell and Johnny Depp was one of them. Those two as entertainers, I truly looked up to. But the reason why I chose Ash because he was my hero since high school, and I've always wanted to be as charismatic as him, which I think it might have worked out. And especially, I've always been a huge Evil Dead fan, and I've always mained Ash on Dead by Daylight, even though people hate playing him. I don't really care. Heck, I even made him in Fortnite. But all in all, that seems all I can say about Ash. I only main as Ash because he's my hero. Bruce Campbell is my hero, and I truly looked up to him. Okay, but to your question, anything I have to say? All I can say is this podcast has been really interesting, and the questions you asked were interesting as well. And I actually this has been fun talking to you, D-Dan. I have been watching some of your videos. They were entertaining. That's why, if you probably noticed, I've already subbed.
Oh, nice.
But all in all, for the people who are watching, all I could say to you is if you want something accomplished, it's best you do it. Don't let anything distract you. It's like the old saying, just do it.
The old saying of the internet.
Old saying, just do it. But all in all, don't let anybody take you down, and just if you want to do something you enjoy, just do it. Don't pay attention to any of those freaking haters out there, because they're no better. But just all in all, but yeah, Dan, thanks for having me in this interview and podcast. This has been a real pleasure talking to you.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine, HIGAMER. Thank you once again for considering me some time to be able to give this interview. And thanks to everyone who's took so far with us. And this is coming out on December 14. No, 24, my bad, not 14, 24. Sorry, they both have 4, so Brazilian confusion at the year. So this video is coming out on December 14th. So I just hope you guys have a very good Christmas. Hope you guys are all doing well, are all safe. I hope you guys are all with your families. And it's you. So thanks so much for coming. Hope to see you guys next time and on the next podcast.
Be sure to, for those who are watching this podcast on my channel, be sure to subscribe to DDan99. He makes really good videos, and this podcast is gonna be posted on next Friday.
Yeah,
but
it's true.
All in all, link to his channel will be in the description below.
The same on my channel. Go check HIGAMER's content. It's very fun. It's very tear-inducing. I almost cried in the Subnautica series. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for coming. Thanks so much for staying, and hope to see you guys next time. Bye.
See ya.